come on in because my name is Deborah and we're doing a recap review on Ready to Love, Make a Move, Season 1, and we are on episode 11, and they're calling it the beginning of the end. That's what the name of the episode is, the beginning of the end. And my question to all of y'all at the beginning of this recap review is, should they say yes? Should they say yes? And Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. I got my Christmas outfit on. I got my hair down until later on today when I go put my braids back in, because y'all, I ain't ready to be dealing with this bird's nest. I'm really not ready for it. So I'm absolutely putting my crochet braids back in. But I came in dressed as Santa Claus because I'm giving out gifts today, y'all. I'm giving out gifts to all the ladies, Christmas gifts. And in the spirit of my mother, I'm giving out education. That's right. I was raised by a school teacher, y'all. My mama was a school teacher for 35 years. And let me tell you something. We always got an educational gift on Christmas. Sure, we got all the good toys. Sure, we got all the fun toys, clothes, all those other kind of things you get on Christmas. But every year, my mother always gave us an educational gift. And so in the spirit of my mama, I'm going to be Santa Claus. And I'm going to give out educational gifts to all these ladies today. Something they can take with them, because this is the beginning of the end. And I'm going to go over who I think should say yes, who I think should say no, and why. And when I tell them my answer, when I tell you all my answer, I'm going to give them a gift as well. A parting gift. That's what you can call it. A Christmas gift. So let's talk about it, y'all. First of all, when did the rules change? All of a sudden, Tamika starts saying, this is becoming y'all's decision thing. You guys can decide whether you're going to move to New Orleans, whether you're going to ask the man to move with you, or whether you're just going to say no. When did the option of moving with you come? I thought this was make a move, period. Not ask somebody to make a move. I guess it's changed midstream. I guess they was doing this show on the fly and they was making up the rules as you go. That's what I think, y'all. I think they were making up the rules to this show as they go. That's why a lot of the men were confused. And now we get here talking about you can ask the man to move to where you are. Why? Why would any man want to do that? That's like going on vacation somewhere, meeting some dude and be like, now do you want to uproot your whole life and come move where I am? I don't even know why women would want these men to do that. Why would you want a man to uproot his entire life, to move where you are, be broke with no money and no job? What, so he can live off you? It's so ridiculous. If you weren't ready to move, if you weren't really considering ready to move, or something there in between, I don't even know why these ladies came on this show. That was their first mistake. Their first mistake was coming on this show and then thinking that they weren't going to be able to forge no relationship unless the man wanted to move where they were. That was a mistake. They should have never done that. So the first person I'm going to start with is Zadia. I'm going to start with Zadia since she kicked off the episode, complaining to the teacher, going to the principal's office, complaining to HR about I was bullied. Zadia is very, very spoiled. Very spoiled. But you know what? I like the way Tamika handled Zadia when she came to HR complaining about she's been bullied in this process, and complaining about Sharice, and her voice is shaking like she's gonna cry or hurt. Girl, this show's over. We're on the last couple of episodes. And I really like the fact that Tamika didn't give it no attention. She said, we're not here for this. We're not here for no pettiness arguments between Sharice and Zadia, because you guys don't even know either how to get along, or you don't know how to stay away from each other. You only got two options. You either get along or you stay away from each other. And this feels like a conversation I would have with a little kid. It feels like a conversation that at Zadia's grown age, if you don't like someone and you don't get along, don't have conversation with them. Okay? Stay away from them. But we see Zadia continually tries to engage with Sharice. It's the person she called to open the door, even though she don't get along with the girl. She tries to sit down and have conversations with Sharice. Why? You're here only for 30 days. You're here to find a man. You're here to make a move. You're not here to make best friends with the ladies. Why are you so intent on it? It just is sort of childish to me. And this whole thing at the very end of this whole 30 days, now you're going to come and try to have a complaint to HR about Sharice. Everybody knows who Sharice is. I know who Sharice is. At this point in time, Zadia, when are you going to be different? When are you going to be different? And that's why I'm starting with Zadia, because what Zadia's problem is with Sharice is the same problem she has with Cam. And it's the same problem she has with all of her men, I suspect. And what Zadia does is Zadia wants everyone else to change. Zadia doesn't want to be different. Zadia doesn't want to make different choices, different decisions. What she wants is you. She wants you to be the one to make them. She wants to still be able to come talk to Sharice, maybe say a nasty thing here to Sharice, but then she doesn't want Sharice to blow up like we know who Sharice is. Sharice is who she is. At some point in time, Zadia, you have to be different. Don't engage. It's the same thing that's going on with Cam. She asked the same thing of Cam over and over again. We've sat here now for how many episodes? 11 episodes, listening to Zadia ask the same question over and over from Cam and asking for different results. It's the same thing with Sharice. She does the same thing, asks the same questions, engages in the same behavior. But what she's waiting on, like a spoiled little kid, is she's waiting for the moment you're going to change yourself, change your mind, and do something different. That's what she's waiting on. That's why she can't make no progress. Because what Zadia does is Zadia doesn't have the skill of negotiation. She doesn't have the skill of negotiation. She doesn't have the skill of negotiation. So that's my first educational present I'm going to give out. I'm going to give Zadia the present of the advice to go out and take a class on negotiation. You heard me correctly. I'm not going to advise her to take a class on dating, how to date. No, I'm going to take her to take a class on negotiation. And let me tell you why I'm telling her that. Is because what Zadia doesn't do in any of her relationships, she doesn't look at the other person. She doesn't look at the other person's needs, wants, desires. She only looks at her needs, her wants, her desires, which puts her at a deficit when she's negotiating with anyone. That's why she'll never snag a man like Cam. That's why she doesn't get Cam, because Zadia just looks at what she wants. She doesn't look at what anyone else wants. And when you don't look at what another person wants, you can't be an effective negotiator, because nobody's going to walk away not getting anything, Zadia. You're not going to walk away getting everything and they get nothing. But that's what Zadia goes for. She goes for getting everything. Now, at the end of this episode, Zadia said when she was talking to Cam, and she was saying she doesn't know what she should do. She's torn between her heart and her head. She says she's tired of being the person. Zadia said that she's tired of being the person that gives so much. And she said, wait a minute, no, let me really read what she said. She said she's tired of being the fixer. Listen to what I'm saying, y'all. Zadia is tired of being the fixer and doing more work than she should. You hear, Zadia? And that's what she's saying here with Cam, how much work she's doing. But herein is the problem, Zadia. The reason why you feel you're doing more work and that you're giving more is because you're giving to someone who doesn't want what you're offering. And what you're doing is you're trying to shove what you have down their throat as is. And as a result, that feels like work. It does. She probably does feel she's working more than Cam in this relationship. She does probably feel like she's the fixer in a relationship, because her fixing is trying to fix you to want what she wants. That's the fixing she's trying to do. She's not looking at who you are and what you want. She's trying to fix you to be who she is and to want what she wants. And let me tell you, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. When really what she should do is she should start with trying to understand who the person is, understand who Sharice is, understand who Cam is. And then what she will do is she won't try to fix that person. She'll learn to negotiate with that person. That's what I'm saying. She'll learn to understand that person's motives. She'll learn to understand where that person is coming from. And then what she'll do is she'll try to negotiate with that person. That person will give a little, she'll give a little. Because in all this question back and forth with Cam, She has never asked Kim. She's never asked Kim, I understand you saying you're not ready for this relationship. I understand that you're not ready for me. I understand that you're not ready to commit to me. What she has never ever asked is it mainly because I live in DC? She's never even asked the question, what if I moved to New Orleans? What would our relationship look like then? Would Cam still be saying, well, I ain't got time for you? Would Cam still be saying, I just want to be friends with you? Why didn't you ask that question? It doesn't mean that it doesn't even mean that you're willing to pay the price. But in negotiation, you always got to ask the person, what's the price? How much you want for it? What would you want me to do? She never even asked Cam that question. All she ever talks about is what she wants. She continually talks about him moving to DC, him giving up his life, him giving up his career. She never asked, well, what if I did move to New Orleans? What would my life look like with you then? What would it look like? Would you be saying the same things? This is why a lot of people think that Cam doesn't like Zadia. And I've been the only one, not the only one, but I've been one of the few who's been out here saying he likes her. He's just not willing to give up his life for her. That's two different things. Liking someone and not willing to give up your whole life for them are two different things. But Zadia never asked. She never tried to negotiate. What if I did move to New Orleans? What if I did come to New Orleans once a month? She never even got to the point of negotiation because she stood right where she started. That is, I'm not moving from DC and I need you to come to me. And as a result, these two made zero progress. Of all the final dates, I actually like Cam and Zadia's date the best. And you know why? Because it combined the two of them. It was the perfect negotiation for a date. It combined Cam's love for taking pictures, his photography, with Zadia's love to dress up, do fashion, and do makeup. It was the perfect date. It was the perfect combination, the negotiation. And you know who had to come up with the date? Cam. Cam had to come up with the date. Finally, when Cam was given a choice to come up with a date and not do the date that the producers wanted him to come on, not come to some party that the producers had staged, but when he got to choose the final date, Cam picked a date for negotiation. He picked a date that not only would he enjoy, which is taking pictures, he picked a date that he knew Zadia would enjoy, that Zadia loves to take pictures herself, to dress up, to do makeup, and to do hair. He's a negotiator, but you can't negotiate with a person who never stays off their price. You ever go try to buy an item and you try to negotiate and they say, well, I want $100. And you say, well, I'll give you $50. And they go, no, I'm only going to take $100. That's where it ends. There's nothing else to do. It's not even good faith negotiation. Even if you go out and buy a house, your realtor will tell you, you got to counter. You got to counter. Even if you counter $2, even if you counter a $5,000, you got to counter, because when you don't counter, it doesn't really show good faith negotiation. It looks like you are stubborn. And let me tell you, people don't want to sell homes to stubborn people. People don't want to sell homes to people who look like they just want to take everything. The seller won't sell to you. And Zadia came in here not willing to negotiate with Cam at all. She came in here with her original position. You moved to DC and that's all I'm offering. And let me tell you, should they say yes? Should they say yes? Cam should absolutely say no. And Zadia should say no too. Because at this moment in time, Zadia doesn't know how to negotiate. So she needs to take my Christmas gift, my Christmas advice. She needs to go take a class on negotiation. She needs to take a class on negotiation before she re-enters the dating world. Zadia is over here asking the wrong questions. She's over here asking the questions, do you want me? Do you want me? What difference does that make? I could go on a car lot and I'd be like, damn, I want that car. I want that car bad. But if I can't get it for the price I want, if I can't get the car without mortgaging my house, I'm not buying the car. And what Zadia is asking Cam is, do you want me? What difference does that make if he wants you? He's not willing to mortgage his house. He's not willing to leave his life behind for you. So wanting you has nothing to do with it. Your price is too high and you're not willing to negotiate. It doesn't matter if he wants you or not. And I know a lot of people walk around saying, well, if a man really wants you, he'll do whatever it takes to get you. That's a lie. That's a lie. There's a limit to what people are willing to do to be with you. Stop believing that. Stop believing you can just ask for anything and want anything, and if he really loves you, he's going to give you everything you ask for. That's a lie. It is an absolute lie. And if you keep running around thinking that, then you're going to be the girl like Zadia, who says, all I got to do is get the guy to really like me, and then he's going to give me everything I want, and then I never have to learn to negotiate, and I never have to learn to give anything. It's a lie. In the end, I felt like Cam was listening to me all season long. I was the one saying, I appreciate Cam's honesty. A lot of men would lie to Zadia and say, yeah, I'll do it, but then won't do it. Why do you think Sharice is over here crying all these years over men? Because what she's saying is, a lot of men promised me things and they didn't deliver. And now everybody wants Cam to promise Zadia a bunch of stuff he knows he can't deliver. And he said, Cam said just what I've been saying. What do you really want, Zadia? Can I really ask you a question, Zadia? Would you rather I just tell you everything you want to hear and not deliver on none of it? Or would you rather I actually tell you the truth and manage your expectations? He used the exact words I've been using, managing her expectations. And Zadia said, yeah, well, I want the truth. But no, she don't. She doesn't really want the truth. Because what Zadia wants is Zadia wants what she wants because Zadia's not willing to negotiate. She's really not willing to negotiate one bit. She needs to take this little present I'm giving her, this Christmas gift, go online, I don't know, to some place, go somewhere, go to a class about negotiation, Zadia. Go to a class, go to a professional class about how to negotiate because she doesn't have any skills in the area whatsoever. And as a result, she's not going to ever be able to be successful in a relationship because a relationship requires conflict resolution and negotiation. And Zadia is horrible at it. Absolutely horrible. And she's got to stop believing that she's a giver. She's going around fixing people. You got it. She's trying to cajole people. She's trying to move people around because she's trying to move people to her position. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. These people don't need fixing. What they need is they need for Zadia to listen and to understand them and to take their needs into consideration as well and not try to fix them. And now we're going to move on to the next person who I'm going to give a Christmas gift out to, and that's going to be Ashlee. And the educational gift I'm going to give Ashlee are some coupons to a therapist's office. She needs a therapist, and she needs to hone in on borderline narcissistic behavior. Because I'm going to tell you, I know Ashlee started off on this season telling everybody that she was a giver, but she absolutely is not. She absolutely is not. Even in the beginning of this episode with Don coming back, she sat there and talked about how the girl Lakeisha owed her an apology. And we all know that Lakeisha was the mouthpiece of Don. We all figured that out talking to each other down in the chat. Lakeisha was absolutely the mouthpiece of Don. Don was running his mouth to Lakeisha. And we know Don doesn't stand up for himself. And so when Lakeisha came in, he said, she gonna stand up for Don. And I'm going to tell this woman all the things that Don's been wanting to say. She was his mouthpiece. She was his mouthpiece. But did Ashlee see that? Did Ashlee get it? We all got it talking to each other. We all got it through some reflection. Whether we think Don was wrong and he should have stood up for Ashlee, whether we think Lakeisha was wrong, we all got what was going on. But did Ashlee get what was going on? No. She didn't get it because in the end, what did Ashlee still frame herself as? The victim. The victim. Just what narcissists do in the end. They're always the victim. It's everybody else that needs to change. They don't need to do nothing different. You're the problem. I'm not the problem. And in the end, Don came saying, well, Lakeisha apologized. She wanted me to tell you she apologized. Did Ashlee apologize to Don? Did Ashlee at all say, I was probably wrong talking about your dress, talking about the loafers, talking about you. I was wrong too. I also could have been wrong with the way that I handled Lakeisha. I was wrong too. Did Ashlee ever say that? No, she never said that. She just wanted to stay the victim. Then is why I'm telling you I'm giving her this gift today, this educational gift, that she go talk to a therapist because I think Ashlee is borderline narcissist. I do. I'm going to give her some clippers too. I'm going to give her a little gift basket. I'm going to put some clippers in there to clip them nails. I'm going to get her some makeup remover to remove some of that makeup. I'm going to do a lot of that. I want Ashlee to strip down to who she really is, to her core. I want her to walk around with no accoutrements, no nails, no big jewelry for 30 days. For 30 days, I want her to do that. And then the other thing I want Ashlee to do, that I'm going to give this advice to all ladies, is date yourself first. Date yourself. You know, one thing I realized about Ashlee is, what is it like to date Ashlee? How is it to date Ashlee? Is she a good date? Ladies, learn to date yourself first. Most of the time, you're supposed to get this from your father. You were supposed to date your father when you were a young girl. So that way you learn to date when you get older. And when you date your father when you're a young girl, not only does your father take you out on dates that you may want to go out on, you learn to go out on dates that your father may like. You learn to enjoy things that men may enjoy because your father is taking you out on dates. And what I realized about Ashlee is, Ashlee's not a good date. Ashlee's only a good date when she is sitting at a dinner table eating food and she can wave her nails. Ashlee's scary. She don't know how to swim. She couldn't ride a bike. And now she's fearful of heights. Ladies, date yourself. Conquer some of your fears, whatever they are, so that you can become a better person to take out on a date. When you're so limited in what you can do on a date because you got long nails, you can't do certain things, you can't bowl, you can't go to anything that involves heights because you're scared of heights, you can't do anything with water because you can't swim, and then you can't ride a bike, you're undateable. You're undateable. Before you try to enter the dating market and date men, date yourself. Learn to be open to some things so that when you go out on dates, you don't look like an absolute fool. You see, those are the things your parents are supposed to teach you too. Hey, I'm going to take you out to nice restaurants. So that way, when you finally go to a nice restaurant with a man, you know what correct fork to eat with. You know how to sit at the table straight. You know how to chew with your mouth closed. These are things that are supposed to be taught when you are a young child or a young kid coming up. And also you need to learn how to be a good date. You need to learn how to be open to different types of things. You need to learn how to conquer your own fears. So when you go out on a date with a man like Don, who obviously loves adventure, you don't sit around and act crazy, a fool, screaming. I'll give her credit. She did it. She did it in the end. I'll give her that credit. She conquered her fear. But I'm going to tell for everyone else, don't let that whole shenanigans in the front happen to you. That's a turnoff to a lot of men. It really is. A lot of men, when they find a woman that's very fearful on dates and doesn't want to do anything, they don't want to date her because what they feel is, dang, if I marry this woman, I'm never going to be able to have no fun again because she don't know how to have none. Not the kind of fun I like to have. All her fun is about dressing up, putting on suits, going to a nice fancy restaurant. That's all she wants to do. That doesn't fit into his life. He's going to say you don't fit into his life because you're too afraid of so many things. Date yourself first. So maybe I'd give Ashlee a couple of date coupons to take herself out on a couple of dates too. Because she's not a fun date. I wouldn't go out with her. After hearing you can't ride a bike, can't swim, scared of heights, I'm okay. Because I would have to cut too many things out of my life to be with you. We're not a fit. All Ashlee is worried about is a partner who's going to have her back. She said it last week, match my energy. Narcissistic behavior. She just wants to do whatever she wants to do, and she wants a partner who's going to support her on whatever she does. That's what she's saying. Have my back. When I act a fool, whatever I say, whatever I do, have my back. Support me. Why? When you're wrong? When you're wrong, you still want me to support you? Yes, that's what a narcissist wants. They want you to support them no matter if they're wrong or right. I want you to support me. Do what I say. Do what I want. That's what she's looking for. Dress the way I like. Talk the way I like. Back me up when I'm in a fight, when I got in a fight with a person. Take my flowers and when I want to give you flowers. If you listen to Ashlee's speech, Ashlee just wants to do whatever she wants to do, and she wants everybody to go along with it. Narcissism. That's what she's looking for, a person who's willing to bow to narcissism. So what should Ashlee say to Don? What should Ashlee say? She should say no. She should absolutely say no, and Don should say no. They both should say no. Ashlee's got a lot of work to do. She's got a lot of work to do. Like I said, she needs to go to therapy. She needs to cut them nails. She needs to strip herself from all of that. She needs to learn how to date herself. She needs to learn how to stop being the victim. She got a lot of work to do, because if in the end, even if she gets a person to say yes to her, she will ruin the relationship. She will absolutely ruin the relationship. And then you know what she'll do is she'll blame the man for it. She'll blame the man for ruining the relationship, because she'll be talking about, just like she did with Alex, all the things she was doing and blaming him. But in the end, he'll be saying, well, I didn't want to do none of those things, Ashlee. Those are things that you wanted to do. It was the way you wanted to do it. So now I'm the bad guy because I'm not bowing to the narcissistic behavior. That's exactly what it is. Ashlee's not a giver. Ashlee is a receiver. Ashlee is a taker. She's not a giver. I think everyone has seen that by now. I think everyone has seen the fall from grace of Ashlee, where she started off coming on this episode talking about how she gets flowers, she gives compliments, she likes to lift up everybody. Nope. That may be how she starts off, because she's only doing that to get from you what she wants. I told everybody that from the very beginning. Even predators give kids candy. Does that make them a good person? No, because they're giving you the candy to lure you in to then abuse you. That's why they say don't take candy from strangers, because you don't know their intentions. Ashlee's intentions when she's giving you flowers, when she's giving you gifts, when you're giving you candies, is so she can draw you in and then later on abuse you with her narcissistic behavior. So Ashlee, my gift for education, like I said, was get a therapist, go to a therapist, and tell her that Auntie Deborah said you are borderline narcissistic and you need some help. The next person I'm giving out gifts to is Sharice. Sharice. I'm so proud of Sharice and that she has made some progress. But as we've seen in these last 2 episodes and the previews coming up, it's still not enough. So the gift I'm going to give to Sharice, the gift of advice, the educational advice, is go take some anger management classes. Take 2. Take 2, girl. Don't just take 1, take 2. Take 2. Because Sharice has anger management problems, and the only time Sharice can keep her anger down here at a good level is when a person is just giving her what she wants. Like she told Maurice, if you keep making me smile, there won't be no problems. Therein is the problem. Because no relationship is ever going to be filled with all smiles, which means whenever you hit a rocky point with Sharice, then the anger, the vile mouth, the vile tongue is going to come out. And then you'll say such damaging words you can't come back from them. People say sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words can never help me. That was the worst saying ever, because words absolutely hurt. Words tear down. And it's good that, it's okay she can say these vile words to Zadia and walk away from Zadia. But she can't say these vile words to a partner she's with. And Sharice has a vile mouth. When Sharice gets mad, when she gets angry, when she gets whatever, it's vile. And she needs to learn how to control that. And right now, she thinks she only has to control it when no one's treating her badly. No, that's not true. You got to learn how to control your anger even when people do you wrong. That's what road rage is about, anger management. Just because someone cut you off, does that mean now you chase them and run them down and batter-ram your car in front of them? You need anger management. That's Sharice. Sharice thinks just because you did something, now I can just let loose on you. That's not true, Sharice. She needs anger management classes. Sharice's fear of being let down by a man is so crippling. So very crippling. Did you see the way she was crying in front of Maurice? Did you see the way she was breaking down and saying how she's so afraid? She's so afraid of letting go and trusting Maurice because of the way her previous relationships have turned out. And she said it. She's getting too old for this. She's getting too old for this. You could see the pain deep down inside of Sharice. You could see how much pain she's in, but she's also so afraid. It's almost like she's held hostage by her fear. But the way she's judging all these other outcomes is because Sharice has always been judging men by the wrong thing. Sharice judges men by their wallet, by their looks, by all these superficial things, and she actually overlooks all the internal qualities of the man. And because she always overlooked the internal qualities, those dog men treated her poorly. Because she always was looking for the wrong thing, because we all know that Sharice is shallow. She might have gotten a little bit better, but I'm telling you, probably the majority of Sharice's 20, 30 years of dating, her 20s and 30s, Sharice was very, very shallow. She chose men for the wrong reasons. She chose them because of their money and the things that could buy her. And as a result, she never paid attention to the inside of the man. And as a result, those men treated her poorly. And now here she is, 43, all scarred up by all these men who ran over her, run through her, or whatever. And she don't trust nobody. But she knows she can't keep staying out here in the world dating. She's afraid. And she's angry and she's bitter. So the minute a man does something she doesn't like, she goes off on him. But here she is, got Maurice. Maurice is a kind-hearted person. Everyone in his family said he's a kind-hearted person. When Sharice was sitting there crying, it was Maurice. Mute Maurice. Where's my viewer? Feel good. Mute Maurice. Me and Phil have been Mute Maurice team all the time. And I told you, the person Sharice needs is a man that doesn't talk a lot. She doesn't need a man who's going to rile her up for that anger management. She doesn't need a man who talks a lot. The very man Sharice needs is Mute Maurice. A man who's going to listen to her. A man that when Sharice is crying and expressing her fears, he's going to tell her, calm down. Take it one day at a time. Don't get so ahead of yourself. Don't let your fear overwhelm you. Did y'all see the way Mute Maurice was handling Sharice? That's what Sharice needs. She needs a calm man that stays down here. She don't need a man that gets up here because she gets up there. Maurice needs to be the thermometer in the house. He needs to be the thing that brings her down, that doesn't rile her up. When she starts getting into that yelling and screaming or a vile mouth tone, you know what Mute Maurice is going to do? He's going to go mute. That's what she needs. She don't need no person like Zadia who's going to clap back at her. He doesn't need that. He needs a person just like Mute Maurice. So should they say yes? Sharice better absolutely say yes to Mute Maurice. She better say yes in a hurry. And she better follow his lead on what he's saying. When she said, I got a whole lot in Miami to give up. I'm so afraid of leaving my mama, leaving my daddy, leaving my dog. He's saying, hold on. Don't get so far ahead of yourself. Don't get so far ahead of yourself. When you build on things, things come to be. He said, steps take building. It doesn't happen all at once. You worrying about a whole lot of things way too far ahead. Slow down your mind, slow down your fear, slow down your tongue, slow it all down. Mute Maurice is the perfect guy for Sharice. The only step she gonna make wrong is if she let that vile tongue let loose on him too much. If she let that vile tongue loose on Maurice, she gonna lose him. So in the meantime, in the between time, my Christmas gift is gonna be to go to anger management classes. She needs to go to anger management class. She needs to learn some techniques that when that rage rages up in front of her, how does she control her tongue? Go to anger management classes. That's going to be my educational gift to her. Go learn how to tame your tongue. And don't look for men who want to tame your tongue. Learn to tame your own tongue. Mute Maurice is a giver. Did you see the date that they went on? You see the date that Maurice chose for Sharice. Maurice chose a date that he knew Sharice would be comfortable with. He gave to her. He was uncomfortable on the horse. He didn't know how to ride the horse. He darn near made a fool of himself on the horse. But guess who was the most comfortable? Sharice. Because Sharice has already told him she knows how to ride horses very well and she enjoys it. He was willing to give up himself to look foolish in front of her so that she could feel comfortable. He didn't want for her. She better see it. She better see it and she better say yes, yes, and yes. The last person I'm giving out a gift to is Vernisha. And what's going to be my educational gift to Vernisha? I'm going to give her a couple of things. One is I'm going to give her some nipple covers. Y'all know I'm going to give her some nipple covers. And, I know a lot of you all last week told me, well, I don't think you can really talk about Vernisha's dressing because everybody dresses the same Vernisha. No, Vernisha's the only person whose nipples I saw all season long. So no, everybody doesn't dress like Vernisha. And the second thing I'm going to say is that people should have versatility in their dressing and people should also dress to their body. I understand that Vernisha got a banging, popping body. I understand that she can also dress to her body, just like a woman who was straight up and down. I might tell her to wear certain types of things. Just because Vernisha got a popping body don't mean we can't give her no advice. Vernisha needs a couple of classes. She needs to go to a person who will teach her how to dress at her age for dating. She needs an etiquette class. Vernisha needs an actual etiquette class. Besides nipples, which will come out of her etiquette class, Vernisha needs an etiquette class. Vernisha doesn't have very good dating etiquette. That's what I'm going to say. And in dating etiquette, she will be taught several things. And one of that's going to be including is dressing. She's also going to learn how to have conversation because Vernisha doesn't have good conversation. And also, Vernisha is going to need to learn to get self-esteem. I know some of you think that Vernisha has good self-esteem, and I know she walks around saying she has good self-esteem, but she absolutely does not have it. All of Vernisha's self-esteem is rooted in her body. That's where all her self-esteem comes from. Even when she was on this date with Tabari, and did you hear the part where Tabari said, and he's taking a tour of Louisiana, and he says, you know, Louisiana is a very sexy city, and he said something about you just got to accept Louisiana as it is. And what was Vernisha's comment? Vernisha don't say much, but when she did say something, she says, oh, sexy just like me. There it is. That's what Vernisha feels her only offering is to men, is her body, her sexiness. It's what she wants to talk about. It's what she wants to be the conversation. And in the end, this date that Tabari sent Vernisha on, that they went on together, was a date in which Tabari could do all the talking as the tour guide, and Vernisha could do all the listening. Because Vernisha doesn't have any conversation. And Tabari knows it. Tabari said, I might as well do a date where I got to do all the talking because I'm never going to get Vernisha to talk anyway. Because Vernisha lets her body do all her talking for her. She lets her body. She needs to go to an etiquette class. She needs to learn what her value, how to have a different value proposition to men besides her body. She does. She doesn't know what it is. She needs, you know what? She needs to take a couple of lessons from someone, say like Tamika, who is a woman who's older, who's married, who maybe has the life that she wants, whatever. How you can be sexy, but not do the type of things Vernisha does. How you can look beautiful, not to do what Vernisha does. Vernisha needs an etiquette class. That's my educational gift to Vernisha. Tabari has a really, really, really big personality. You could see it wanting to come out. Tabari he has a big personality. And Vernisha, I don't think she really likes that about Tabari. I don't think that she does, because although Vernisha is hanging out to midnight, like she says, and she don't want to come home, I don't think Vernisha likes a man that has that type of personality. Because if you hear Vernisha all day long, it's the communication, it's the communication, it's the communication. What she's actually saying is the constant validation. It's the constant validation. Because here's the thing with Vernisha. When she says when Tabari is with her, it's all good. That's how she feels about all men. Because when the men are with her, you know what they're doing to Vernisha? They're rubbing on her body, telling her how beautiful she is, talking about how big her body is. Like Tabari, can I go tuck you in tonight? It's all about the physical. The physical compliments. When they look at her, they tell her, oh, you look so good. That's what Vernisha needs. She needs the constant validation of her physical beauty. But where Vernisha loses her confidence is when you're away. When you're away. Now she says, I don't know if you're still interested in me because you can't see me. You can't see my body. Well, Vernisha, if he's into you, it's in his head. It's in his head already. But she don't count on that, because what Vernisha needs is the physical presence, the physical body, the physical everything. All her self-esteem is based on physical. She can't rest in her assurance of knowing that even when a man is not with you, that he's still thinking about you. She needs you to constantly be validating her, constantly calling her, constantly texting her, constantly talking about her body and how you want her. It is nauseating. It's exhausting. I know she walks around saying she got a lot of self-esteem. I know she walks around talking about, if you don't give me what I want, I'll go find it. Well, obviously not. You haven't found it. You haven't found it. She and Sharice sitting over here talking big. Well, you know what? If you don't give us what we want, we'll go find it. You ain't found it. Y'all both 40-something years old, and you've never found it. No man has ever put a ring on you. So this idea that if a man doesn't give you what you want, you'll go find it, it's not true, because you ain't never done it. You ain't never called no man on the bluff. A man can look at you and say, wow, why would I believe that? You ain't never done it. You ain't never done it. You selling wolf tickets. That's what they used to say back in the day. You selling wolf tickets. You trying to say what you gonna do and what you can do, but there ain't no proof of it because you ain't never done it. So that's my final gift to Vernisha. Nipple covers, an etiquette class, and a class on self-esteem and worth more than your body, more than your physical presence. More than and then help her with her own girls. It'll help her with her own girls. Because let me tell you something. Growing up with a mother who all that mother does is flaunt their body, and you are a young girl, that can make you feel uncomfortable. It can make you feel uncomfortable to have a mother that gets all this attention from men all the time because of the way that she presents her body to the world. Young girls are not comfortable seeing men Google and grope on their mother, and it looks like a violation to them as young girls. And then what those young girls can do is they can become not wanting to be with men because they don't like the way the men treat their mother. It can make them feel uncomfortable. When young girls see their mother being continuously sexualized by their sexual beauty, what they wear, a young girl could be out with the mother, see how men treat that mother, talk to that mother, and what that child could then decide to do is, I don't want that type of attention for myself. So I'm going to be the complete opposite of my mother. I'm going to wear baggy clothes. I'm going to dress different because I actually don't want that attention. Look at Kim Kardashian and her child. What's her child's name? North. Look at what's happening with the dynamics between them. You got extremely feminine Kim Kardashian, a sex kitten. And then what you have is you have the daughter who likes to dress frumpy and be complete opposite. And then always talk about the mother, the way she dresses. Look at a lot of these movie stars who are sexualized, being the hottest woman out there in the world, and look at some of their children. Angela Jolie, some of her children. A lot of young girls don't know how to process when they see a mother who is continually groped on, sexualized in the street by a man, and they know they wouldn't want that attention. Sometimes what they do to not get the attention of a man are some other things. They look at men as, they don't want that. I'm going to keep the man away from me. I don't want what my mother's got. Vernisha's got to look at that if she's raised all girls. She's got to look at that if she's raised all girls. But anyway, that's it, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Merry Christmas. And I'm definitely going to see y'all before the new year. But Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoy your time with whomever you spend your Christmas day with, whether that's you, friends, family, boyfriends, husbands, nieces, nephews, neighbors, a good book, a good Christmas movie, whatever it is. I hope you enjoy your Christmas or your holiday if you don't celebrate Christmas. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.